In the heart of Nigeria, a quiet revolution is unfolding as fish farming emerges as one of the nation's fastest growing industries. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the fisheries and aquaculture subsector now contributes between 3 to 5% to the agricultural share of the gross domestic product. From rural landscapes to urban markets, the impact is tangible, providing livelihoods and bolstering economic growth. As demand for fish rises, the industry is adapting, promoting sustainable practices and innovation. With careful stewardship, Nigeria's aquaculture sector holds immense potential to further propel the nation's agricultural landscape into the future. In Ogun State, known as the gateway to Nigeria, the executive governor, Prince Abeokuta, has been proactive in implementing ambitious initiatives encapsulated in his Isheya mantra. Isheya standing for infrastructure, social welfare and well-being, education, youth development and empowerment, agriculture, and food security, reflects a comprehensive approach to governance. Through his steadfast leadership and dedication to these pillars, Prince Abeokuta is driving forward progress and development in Ogun State, ensuring a brighter future for its residents. These programs are targeted at drastically reducing the level of poverty and unemployment amongst citizens and residents of the state, and they remain at the top of his agenda.
We are looking at 4 areas in the Ministry of Agric. The first area is to improve production, and this has to do with improving the tons that they are producing. We're also looking at how to improve the value chain, that is, so that they can begin to process their produce.
We are positioned to provide the enabling environment not only to the smallholder farmers, but also to investors and agro-processors in the agric space, so as to ensure that we have enough food.
With a focus on agriculture and food security, the Ogun State government promises to revitalize all agricultural assets domiciled in every part of the state. This move is to boost food production and drive industrialization in tandem with the global best practices.
We intend to fully optimize existing government agricultural assets. So there is no government-owned fish pond that this year will not be utilized. All available agricultural assets of the state government will be fully utilized and will be fully optimized in the months and years ahead.
The state has also expressed interest in the agricultural and the dry season farming being promoted by the federal government, and we are profiling farmers that will benefit under that scheme. Outside what is coming in from the federal government, the state and the local government are also engaging to ensure that the agricultural assets of the state, in terms of land, in terms of storage facilities, are being put in place, being rehabilitated where the need arises, and ensuring that they are properly aggregated so that we can use them and they can be effectively used, not directly by government alone, but even investors or farmers or individuals who are interested in agriculture to be able to plant, to be able to process, so that we can have enough food in the state and then mitigate the current food crisis that is going on in the nation as a whole. So apart from our assets, we are also building capacities of farmers across the state using the different agencies and departments of the ministry.
The man in charge of this aspect of the Isheya agenda is Honorable Bolu Owotomo, the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Development in Ogun State. He is a distinguished investment professional and seasoned agriculture expert poised with a vision to reinvigorate and elevate the sector to an enviable status with his experience in both public and private sectors. At an energetic pace, Honorable Owotomo is walking the talk by formulating new agricultural policies to increase efficiency and drive the sector, particularly in the area of identifying genuine farmers to effectively deliver on the promises of Prince Dapo Abiodun.
Fish farming is one of the ways that we are using to address the issue of food security and also end hunger in our state. It is a very rich source of protein and is also a source of low cholesterol. It also has low cholesterol. We're looking at how to engage our youth in fish farming. A lot of them may not want to do fish farming directly, but we can utilize our youth in terms of them being off-takers and them being processors of this produce.
The aquaculture industry provides a veritable platform for engagement of young people, of women, and even the adults to engage in fish production. The demand-supply gap for fish in Nigeria is still huge. We still do a lot of importation of fish from outside the country. And if we're able to deepen this, we'll be able to do that. So having these fish clusters across the states is providing the platform for us to increase the production and supply and thereby reduce the gap between the demand and supply of fish in Nigeria.
In a significant revelation by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, Nigeria emerges as the largest aquaculture producer in sub-Saharan Africa, with its prominence on the rise.
Fish farming is a very lucrative business. It's a multi-million investment and it's very lucrative.
This fish farming business is just a solution to unemployment. Most of us there are graduates.
When we talk about catfish business, we talk about we operate on millions. So there is, in fact, our capital basis, 1,000 cannot do anything in this business. So we contribute a lot to the gross domestic product of Ogun State and even Nigeria at large.
However, amidst this growth, challenges loom large, particularly concerning aging fleets and infrastructure. Upon assuming office, Bolu Owotomo, the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Development in Ogun State, wasted no time in initiating action. With a keen eye on improving the state's aquaculture sector, Owotomo embarked on a comprehensive inspection and documentation process of fish farm settlements across the state.
They have so many challenges. That is where the Honorable Commissioner, Honorable Bolu Owotomo, said we should come and highlight the challenges and the interventions His Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun CON can intervene for these fish farmers.
This proactive approach signals a commitment to supporting and enhancing the livelihoods of fish farmers, ultimately contributing to the sustainable development of Ogun State's agricultural landscape.
The fish farmers in Ogun State have been doing a remarkable job. They have been keeping to their terms of reference. We'll keep partnering with them, but we will call on them to continue to pay their dues as a full due, and they should continue to register with the Ministry of Agric so that we can deepen the partnership that we have always enjoyed with them.
Among the 8 clusters that we have here, how many are registered? If intervention will come, it will come to those that are registered with the department. How many farmers do you have? Either practicing or they are on sabbatical because of some factors. No feed, their investment has gone down, But if they are still willing to be your members, capture them. Let us know, okay, from Ashejere, we have 100 farmers. So if intervention will come, it will come on the total of members that we have.
Moving from OUMIK Fish Farmers Cluster Association, Isaleudo in Ilashe, Ipokia local government area of Ogun State, to Ashejere Fish and Allied Farms in Ijebu-Ode and Ikenne Fish Farm Cluster in Ikenne, the agenda of this present administration remains improving and increasing the production capacity. To achieve greater results, the Ministry of Agriculture, under the leadership of Honorable Ogutomo, stresses the need to engage genuine and resourceful farmers in order to directly address food security, as political farmers have posed serious challenges in the development of agriculture in the state and Nigeria in general.
In the immediate, we have been ensuring that we do trainings for them so that they can follow standard practices and procedures. We have also just recently given a soft loan to a fish cluster, which is a cluster of about 600 fish farmers. The state government, led by Prince Abeokuta, graciously approved a soft loan of 0% interest rate of 50 million naira to that particular cluster. We'll be looking at replicating such gesture in other clusters in weeks and months to come.
Ogun State is in the front drive of this to ensure this happens. And the various clusters we are looking at, there are those that are specialized in the production of fingerlings. And people come from different parts of the country and even outside, because Elisha, for example, is close to the Republic of Benin. And people come from outside to pick the fingerlings. So there is a level of specialization that is also going on around these different clusters that we have. There are those who are producing the fingerlings and the juveniles. There are those who are producing for the table to ensure that whichever aspect of the chain you are involved in, there is enough fish in the state, and there are a lot of people that are engaged. And we are still developing more clusters so as to encourage more people to come into that. So if we're able to reduce the import of fish in the country, it will be a lot of conservation of our foreign reserve. And that's what we should begin to look at. In the agricultural space now, we should be looking more at import substitution.
Fish farmers express their optimism in the current leadership.
What we are expecting governments to do, right, at least you can see the facilities on the ground, right? To me, I see it as an access of it's an opportunity for an employment. So we are talking about over 250 points, right? Where less than 70 were being in use, right? So at least the government can come in, right, at least to make sure that they empower people and then they put people that can manage to monitor those activities.
We are so glad and happy hearing that the government has have us in mind at this particular point in time, and we wish that all the good things they have said concerning us, they bring it to fulfillment.
We are looking forward if government can help us seriously, because we don't have much because of the economy that we are facing in Nigeria.
We are hoping on God that this time around that the government has come to our age, that we'll be able to do something. Knowing in the sense that ever since we have been existing, these clusters have been existing for over 20 years. We have never received any help from the government. So we hope that this time around they'll be able to do something for us.
Before the Honorable Commissioner can send his team from the Department of Fisheries to come and do a kind of survey to know the challenges, definitely I'm very optimistic that His Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun CON will intervene urgently.
Honorable Ogutomo envisions an Ogun State where agriculture is a driver of job creation, poverty alleviation, and food security. To him, this vision should go beyond being an idea. It must be the blueprint for tangible development in a large economy like Nigeria.
We can't earn foreign exchange from our fish industry the way it is currently structured, because most of our fish farmers harvest their produce and they sell directly in that same way. They hardly add any value to it. And as I said when I was mentioning the 4 pillars that we're going to be basing our administration on, I mentioned that we'll be adding value to their production, That is, we will encourage them to begin to process their produce. It is when they process their produce that they can begin to think of export. And at the same time, they should be getting ready for the takeoff of the Ogun State Cargo Airport, because this will be a very good source for them to be able to transport their finished produce to the other countries in Africa and even beyond.
The agricultural sector continues to grapple with pressing challenges, ranging from low productivity to subpar infrastructure and limited access to crucial financial resources.
Year in, year out, we normally have flood. And when it comes like that, it cuts away our investments. And it used to be very massive.
The major river that is that connected us together here, the way they are doing for everywhere, dredging every time, we want them to be doing it for us. And this our road is very, very bad. Even if we don't get anything from government, but if you don't have challenges to where we can get lost, and at the same time we have good road for our marketers to come. So I think we are okay with that.
The road, this you see the road from the Jebode to this place. The road is an eyesore. Once it rains, we're not able to come down to this place. It cut us off, to get into our investment. And if we don't come, our fish is at stake. So, and the buyers that are also coming to come and buy fish from us here, they do complain massively about the road.
We have a challenge in the aspect of road networks, especially the road that leads from Obalende down to Okawa. So that road is the road that connects most of the catfish farmers in Kongba Road axis. So the road is not motorable. So we have that challenge. Again, in most of our farm clusters, there used to be a challenge of flooding on an annual basis during the rainy season. So the Yemule stream, that stream is the one that connects about 8 clusters from Yemule down to Ogbago. So we need that stream to be, that stream is due for dredging, so we need it to be cleared.
If government can intervene in this problem that we are having, it's going to be a source of income to government as well, because government can generate from that road in terms of toll revenue. Then the last one is financial support to farmers. The increase of our cost production, it's increased every year. So we need government to assist farmers, either in terms of grants or in terms of loans. So we need government to intervene.
If the government can intervene and help us in another way or another means in which we can feed our fish, for instance, the magotry, the BSF, we need lectures on BSF production so that we can get another means of feeding our fish instead of importing.
Their reservoir here will be redredged so that water can be available for them. So many of them, they have left the farm, especially those that are far where the source of water is. They have left because the water cannot get to them. But when it is redredged, then with supplementary boreholes to them, so all of them, about 500 farmers will be here when all the challenges have been rectified.
The Commissioner addresses how to tackle these challenges with a view to improving the value chain of production in the fish industry.
The issue with most fish farmers is the way they have built their ponds. Some of them have built their ponds in areas that are prone to flood, and we are trying to address this issue by involving our Ministry of Environment so that they can perhaps look at ways of dredging those rivers close to the fish clusters. We will also be working with them in decongesting the gutters and the channels in those areas. And we also appeal to our fish farmers to have a plan for expansion and not go about unbridled expansion. They should endeavor to build their ponds in areas that are not prone to flood.
What we'll be looking at is developing the different segments of the value chain in aquaculture. Apart from ensuring that we have enough inputs part of the part of the issues is feed in aquaculture. So we begin to look at what are the ingredients and how we can produce them in the state. We're asking poultry farmers, we're asking all of them to collaborate with farmers to produce maize, to produce soybean, which are ingredients of fish feed, alongside the issue of the fish meal, which are also encouraging farmers to see as another enterprise that they can engage in to produce fish meal, which are critical ingredients in aquaculture.
Because the government cannot address all the challenges of fish farmers in the state, the Commissioner calls on critical stakeholders to join through the Public-Private Partnership (PPP).
Government alone cannot take charge of these challenges, and we have been engaging the private sector. Indeed, Ogun State is the largest producer of fish in Nigeria, and we will deepen our relationship with the private sector because government cannot do it alone, as you have rightly said. We'll look at ways to engage them further. We will not only be engaging the private investors alone, we'll be looking at how we can link our farmers with financial institutions so that they can begin to get single-digit loans from banks. This can enhance their business and also improve their livelihoods.
Like you noticed recently, we are trying to facilitate linkages with financial institutions so as to ensure that our farmers can have access to finance. That's been a major challenge for many of them. So what we've been doing is to bring the farmers together, link them up with financial institutions. We're also engaging with financial institutions to ensure that they have products that will meet the needs of this subsector in agriculture. For example, we've had discussion with Bank of Agriculture, we've had discussions with NISAL, we've had discussion with Zenith Bank. So we are still engaging with different financial institutions to see who of them will have products that will be suited to our farmers in aquaculture. And with that coming on board, we know that will be able to assist them a lot. Government cannot do everything. What we've been able to do, particularly with Eriwe, giving them a grant of 50 million naira, was because of their performance in time past, wherein they've been able to access such facility and they've been able to repay back such facilities. So we are also looking at how we can extend that to others.
For the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Samuel Adeogun, it is not business as usual, as the ministry seeks to maximize the sector's output, ensuring that every inch of arable land is optimized for the benefit of the state and the success of the Ishaya vision.
The Ministry of Agriculture is positioned to be able to deliver on that particular pillar of the agenda of His Excellency. And this is being done in several ways, particularly in the sense that the different departments and agencies under the ministry are working together to be able to deliver on this. We also have different intervention projects, such as the Ogun State Economic Transformation Program, OGTV, which has the agric platform or delivery platforms to execute different agricultural projects, which is targeted at over 40,000 smallholder farmers across the 20 local governments of Ogun State. We also have the different development partners projects, such as the Value Chain Development Program, which is focusing majorly on rice and cassava, and it's been implemented in 8 local governments of the state. That's also part of the program being put in place to ensure we're able to deliver on the agricultural agenda of His Excellency. And with the production by the different smallholder farmers, it's also to kind of ensure that the establishment of the special agro-industrial processing zone in the state with the construction of the agro-cargo airport will ensure that agricultural products produced in the state can be easily exported, and there are companies coming in not only to just take out the primary products, but also to add value to these primary products that have been produced in the state, and then we'll be able to take this out of the state.
The Director of Fisheries, Princess Ojelade, and the ministry is passionate about increasing the capacity of fish farmers in Ogun State. For fish farmers in Ogun State, it is a new dawn, as the current leadership in the agric sector has been engaging them on ways to improve the status quo for the good of all.
Don't leave the farm. If you have been raising 1,000 juveniles before, and with all these challenges, increase in feed, dwindling investment capital and all, if it will be 200, still stay on the farm because people must eat. There is no forex to buy the titles. With the teeming population, if it is 250, ni agbára ká, please still stay on the farm. If you need credit facilities, there is a way you will request. Who knows what we are going through? Unless as we have sent now. So you will request. You ask, how will I do this? How will I do this? Request.
With the right training and collaboration with investors in the fishery sector, Ogun State can close the gap of about 2.4 million metric tons fish imports, gulping the nation's forex, and at the same time create jobs for the teeming youth while reducing the poverty rate of the people of Ogun State and Nigeria at large. No doubt, Honorable Bolu Owotomo, with his wealth of experience and seasoned expertise, is positioned as a driving force for change in Ogun State's agricultural sector. He is a beacon of hope for a brighter, more prosperous future where agriculture takes center stage in the state's economic buoyancy.